Hello, friends. My name is Dan Miller.
And I'm Niall Spain. And we're your fuck buddies.
We are a sex and dating advice podcast where we take your sticky, sexy situations to turn them into sexy, sticky situations.
Simply put, we are a sex and dating advice podcast where we find questions either roaming the wilds of the internet or from our wonderful listeners, and we answer them right here, right now, in your ears, sometimes on stage, but most importantly, sometimes with a very special guest. Tim, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello to all of the Fuck Buddies listeners. Ew, it's me, Tim, host of the Sex Ed with Tim podcast. I am a certified sex educator and a local chaotic homosexual, and I'm here to cause a little disruption here on your podcast.
Hell yeah. We're
I like
very
that you
excited
say
to have
local
you.
on a podcast.
Yeah,
because
not international.
It seems, well, I think that implies, as anyone, we do have a large listenership in the Philippines. So by you saying local, it makes you almost global. It doesn't matter where you are. Tim is.
Wow.
is
We're regularly
creeping,
number
lurking.
one in the Philippines, yeah.
Yeah, the Philippines,
they love us,
I
and we
don't know.
love them.
I don't know how we did it, but we became best friends with them.
If you're
If I
listening
can
from the
quickly-
Philippines right now, we love you.
Yeah,
Shout out.
If I can quickly say hi to the Filipino listeners, mabuhay, kamusta kayo lahat? Mahal ko kayo
Hell
lahat.
yeah. Hell yeah.
Amazing.
I hope you're not just throwing slurs right now.
No.
we are now absolute enemies of the Philippines now.
We went from number 1 to number 0, which wasn't even...
Or 69.
Ew.
No, I was just telling the Filipinos how much I love them and how great the show is. And
We
you know,
also love them.
We
how
do.
much I love my podcast daddies.
As I give the most undaddy response.
As we both become small children, I guess,
Yeah.
like posing for like Kmart photos. Yeah.
Listen, I love a beard and a baby face with an ambiguous accent. So
There we go.
Which one's which?
This union was so powerful that Rogers tried to stop it last week. But Rogers, we say
true.
fuck you. You cannot stop this. We just
Big
rescheduled
telecom.
for a week later.
Tried to fuck
homophobia.
us.
Homophobia.
Yeah,
Rogers.
So should we get into our first question? I believe you have a few for us. So if you'd like to just shoot one right into the mitts and let's pounce upon it.
Sure.
Like tigers.
But before we do that, let me just get into something a little more comfortable.
Ooh.
Whoa,
Hell yeah.
whoa.
I should have brought my outfit.
This is gonna make
Hell yeah.
great TikToks.
I love it.
For those
okay.
who are just listening, Tim has just revealed a leather strap top. I'm not sure what the
Harness.
official harness. That's
Leather
the
strap
word.
top, as it is
Leather strap
colloquially
top.
known. It's beautiful.
Thank
I'm
you.
not going to be able to think of
Pure
anything.
leather.
We've both been shamed because now we just look like real chumps in our fucking t-shirts.
Listen, I
yeah.
came to cause chaos. Has chaos been caused? Success.
Success. It's starting. You heard it here first, guys. Hottest episode so far.
True.
So my listeners are a little unhinged, and the questions I have are a little cray cray banane. And because of that, they have all chosen to stay anonymous.
Yeah.
So let's start with something simple. This one's not even an advice-seeking question. It's just, what are your thoughts on gay incest?
Oh, okay. Well, at first I was pretty confident in my answer. I thought it was going to be like, how do you feel about gay people? I was like, I love them. Like,
then-
I'm going to really need to take 10 minutes on that one now. So incest is like, obviously, like, it's a thing where you're like, instantly you're just gonna be like, no, it's weird. It's fucking weird. But I think a lot of like historically why incest was like banned was because you have like fucked up offspring, which you're not going to do if it's a gay relationship. So maybe back in the day they wouldn't have banned it. It's very strange. It's very hard for me to step away from the fact of incest as wrong, though. So I'm going to say, oh yeah, you go. Yeah,
I think it's tough to say because I think there is inherently a unfair power dynamic in a familial or like a family setting, right? Like there's always going to be someone who is older. There's always going to be someone who has like. I mean, I guess. If you're,
That's called
if you're
twincest.
Siblings.
Yeah. So Dane's he's here for twincest. It's the only way it's fair.
But I think
gay
there's still,
twincest.
I think there's still always going to be. There's always like a power dynamic, even between
one's
siblings,
the big twin.
right? One's the one who like ate the third twin in the womb and got all the powers.
Twinnablism.
Hate incest, okay with twin cannibal. That's I think that's like it's kind of like when people when we talk about like age gaps and stuff, right? Like where it's like I don't really like as if people are consenting adults, then like sure, great, but I think when you think of also, I think like just biologically, as Niall said, there's detriments to having incestuous sex, but I don't know. I try to be sex positive and I try to keep an open mind, but I think it would be very, very difficult for someone to rationalize that having sex with someone you are related to is a good thing to do.
I mean,
well, even
if
just
the royal
like,
family could do it, why can't commoners
but they fucking
do it?
suck. So
Yeah, but they're horrible.
Look
they're
at those
terrible
assholes.
people who have done terrible things throughout all of history. So if that's our benchmark, then I think
Fucking
we
go
have a
for it.
definitive answer. Yeah.
I'm going to say I think it's weird, but I'm saying that I understand why it's even a question, because I think why people initially started to hate on it was because they were like, oh, got to stop making these mutant babies.
And like with a gay relationship, there's no like risk of any sort of reproduction.
Yeah.
So for me, my thoughts on this is just like, hey, you know what? Go do you like, don't keep me out of it. What? Who am I to judge?
Definitely keep me out of it, actually. That I agree with.
Well, I think, hey, specifically, I don't think they have any interest in us as long as they're not related to us.
You don't
So I
know who
think
sent
we
that
are
question
safe.
in. You don't know who sent
We're
that
good.
question in.
It's
Yeah.
very true.
Again, these are all very unhinged, and they all wanted to be kept anonymous. So listen,
I will say one fun thing we do on the podcast is when we get anonymous questions in, we give them an agent name. So if you would like
Secret
to dub
code name.
these question askers like Agent Footfall or Agent Foam Cube or whatever, generally we just find something in the room.
okay,
Yeah, it's usually us just looking around the room and picking an inanimate
Or if you
object.
know them, you can give them a code name so they know that you know, so you wink.
Well, I'm currently snacking on some Skittles, and Skittles is colorful, which is gay. So Agent Skittles.
Agent Skittles.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect. All right. So I think let's move on to something a little more juicy, a little more like substantial.
What's juicier than
And-
gay incest?
A peach. Call me by your name reference for anyone who's watched. So this one here says, my boyfriend of just over 4 years broke up with me this week. Oh, I'm sorry. Because
That
he's
sucks.
no longer
Unless he sucks.
right. Whatever your breakup reasons may be, but over 4 years, my boyfriend of over 4 years just broke up with me because he's no longer romantically / sexually attracted to me. It was completely unexpected on my end. We live together, but he wants to remain friends. I also want to remain friends, but it's really hard because he's pursuing someone else. Do you have any advice on how I can disconnect my romantic feelings for him quicker?
Move out. Like,
Yeah, there's no way that this situation plays out well so long as you live together. I think it's very possible to be friends with your ex.
yeah. Oh, for sure. Sorry, I made a face, but that was before you finished your sentence. You can take that
but
face back.
The ways that you are successfully friends with your ex, I think, is a generous amount of time in between you being partners and you being friends. Anyone who thinks they can just transition immediately, I think is in for a very, very long and painful transition. Like, I think you could probably get there eventually.
Yeah,
without
if
the
you
break.
wade through months, if not years, of agony while having to, one, not erode that relationship fully to the point where you fucking hate each other, and two, not backslide the first time you both come home drunk 2 weeks later, you know?
Yeah.
4 years
So-
is a long time, though. And, like, I think at that point you've built a life together. So how can you just, like, turn it off that quickly?
You can't. Like, that's
Yeah.
the
You
thing.
don't.
Like, even if you had broken up and you were, like, you know, remaining friends by, like, meeting up every week for coffee, I wouldn't recommend that. I would recommend giving it some solid time apart because you really need space and time to, like, reset, because you can't just flick that switch and turn it off. But living with someone is the complete opposite of that. So it's like you need to get out for your own mental health and for any chance of being in a friendship, I think.
Like you said, Tim, it's like you've built a life together. So like staying in the place that you have built together, that's still a collaborative space. That's not your space. So you need to be removed from it, and you need a place where you can like put down your own roots and do your own healing and do your own thing, and have a place that isn't permanently ingrained with your partner that you're trying to, you know, quote unquote, get over. And it's like heartbreak is the same as any injury, right? Like if you break your arm, we would all like to be like, fix it now, please. I would like this to be fixed. But it's like, that's not how it works. It takes time to heal,
and if you're
at minimal.
Just doing nothing but push-ups, that arm's going to get fucked up. And that's what living with your partner in this thing, it's just nothing but push-ups.
And then like sometimes you also need to go to physio, and you also need to do your exercises. You also need to do whatever. And a lot of the times, like in terms of heartbreak, that's seeing a therapist or doing, intense soul searching and self-reflection. So it's like, yeah, we all want to be able to just be like, sever ourselves and be like, all done. I don't have to think about it anymore. I'm fine. Heartache doesn't matter. But like we are unfortunately emotional creatures, and it's not easy to turn that off.
No, I agree, because like with any sort of heartbreak, you do kind of find yourself lost because you have spent so much time kind of like building a unit, and a lot of your identity, whether or not it's your own fault, your identity has become couple, me and this person, and for that to just like so end abruptly is going to take some time. It's kind of like losing a part of yourself,
for sure.
And guess what, it's going to take time to heal, and the more you distance yourself from that with time, the more you'll find that you're back to your old regular self. But who knows, no one's going to give you a timeline on that, so we can't really give advice on how to quickly, in quotes, get over it. You're just going to have to, work through the motions. And if you can't move out, I'm sorry, that sucks. Real estate and rent is astronomical wherever you are in the world. Nothing is affordable anymore. But if you do find a way to leave the situation so that you can physically and emotionally distance yourself from your ex, then great. If all else fails, to get over him, get under another.
If that works for you, for sure. I'll also say, like, if you can't leave, I think you should try to enforce like boundaries and like just try to create space for yourself as much as you can, whether that be like, as you said, when you lose that, you're losing a lot of yourself. There's this hole, there's this void. And it's like filling that void, whether it be, literally, or going out and like getting a new hobby or whatever. Like spend more time on yourself, which will mean more time away from your shared space, which will give you a little bit more space. And there's no harm in talking to them and just being like, hey, we just broke up, we're still living together. Can we set like a ground rule of like, if you are seeing someone, you go to theirs, right? At least for the foreseeable future, because I think that also might help you. Because one, if they're boning down, they're not home, so that's good. And two, you don't have to hear them fuck this new person, so it's win-win.
My God, what if they brought 100%. Their new guy into the space?
100%. 100%. Terrible. So I think setting that boundary, which is a pretty reasonable boundary, 100% is a step, right? Like there are still things you can do. Like best case, you get out. Second best case, try to create a little distance and have a chat, and hopefully they're not an asshole.
Yeah. And reclaim your space, right? I hope you have your own bedroom and be like, this is my space, and you are not allowed in it unless you are invited in, right? Because there's still a familiarity of like, you lived and loved this person for 4 years, maybe longer, depending on how long you've known them. So it's like, there is that like feeling of, oh, this is my space as well, because it was our space, right? So it's like setting new boundaries, even if it is just something as much of as like a barrier of being like, you can't come into my room unless I invite you, because we are separate entities now, and this is my space, and I need to claim it as my own. I think setting boundaries in this scenario is the only way you keep your sanity if you have to stay. Because it's like, we can talk a big game and being like, move out, but I did that when I broke up a few years ago, and it was an incredible financial burden on myself of like staying in this apartment because it was cheaper than moving to a new one. But it was still like I was paying rent by myself in a fairly nice apartment in Toronto, and it was difficult. It wasn't an easy thing to do. So
imagine if this happened in lockdown. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Well, I think it did happen to a lot of people in lockdown.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
I know a few people who broke up during lockdown, and they were just like, well, but on the flip side, during lockdown actually might have been the best time, because at least all those condo places were doing those deals of being like, no one was moving, right? So they were like, we'll give you the first like 4 months free if you move in. So like, what we're saying is start another pandemic, a global pandemic,
to get cheap
in order to lower the condo prices in your...
All right, everyone, start fucking, give everybody syphilis, a new strain of super gonorrhea. Let's send the world back into
Turbo-syphilis.
shutting down. Turbo syphilis. Let's send the world back into lockdown.
Yeah, get that cheap rent. All for you. All right, I think let's take a brief game break.
Ooh.
I'm going to start us off with my game that I don't have a title for yet, but we're going to go with subtitle, dom title, where what I'm going to do is I'm going to read out 3 porn titles to you. One of them has been fabricated by me, and you have to tell me which one that is.
Oh, shit.
There's going to be 3 rounds, and you can either come to an agreement collaboratively, or I can do it competitively. What do you think?
We'll come.
I also only heard come as well.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything after you said come.
Okay, well, you guys can come.
Thank God.
Yes.
I've been waiting. I've been doing this podcast for almost 7 years, and I've been waiting for
the longest time you've ever been edged.
Hundreds of episodes. I said
and
you
I'm
can be a
caged
team
right now, so there's no way I can come.
You can be a team and come together to an agreement, that is, or it can be a competition. Up to you.
I think we work together. I'm
Okay,
a
let's work
fan of
together.
collaborative play.
Sure.
All right, I'm going to read them out. You ready? Compilation with a good dose of the biggest cocks unloading on pretty faces. That's one. Hottest MILFs showing off their special tricks on pleasing hard dicks with their magic touch. Pool boy spills more than just water.
Okay, quick question. Are these like straight porn titles?
Most, yes.
Most? Okay.
I think all, but yes.
Dane, I'm going to let you take the lead on this because
See, I want to. Some of the longer ones have that SEO nonsense that a lot of porn titles do, where they just try to put as many keywords as possible in the title.
Yeah, because we're all looking up magic touch.
It's not that's a copy and paste one for me. So I'm initially going for the pool boy one.
Mm-hmm.
However, my gut is saying the MILF one.
as the fake.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going
My
to...
logic is saying pool boy, but my porn consuming belly is telling me to go MILF.
MILF sounds a little too like... Nobody ever writes MILF in their porn titles anymore, so I'm going to go with that.
Yeah, it's all stepmoms now.
Mhm.
We're done with MILF. It's stepmom.
We're going to
say
MILF?
we're gonna say MILF.
Incorrect. It is pool
Oh.
boy.
Fuck!
Yeah.
Damn it!
It's okay. It's okay. You're warming up. Round 2. Big-tailed
I'll still say
blonde gets
MILF.
excited at the club and ends up having good sex in the bathroom.
You say big tail?
Big-tailed blonde gets excited at the club and ends up having good sex in the bathroom. That's 1. Too many hot young faces for this cumstronaut. 2. And then we have part 1. Graduating from virginity this time with a pussy of a brush. All the sperm is released into her vagina and face.
Wait, there's a title where it explicitly says sperm? What?
Is it? Is there? I don't know. You tell me.
That's gotta be the fake. Come on, nobody ever says sperm. But then again, I barely watch straight porn. That's not
This
to say
is-
I'd never watch straight porn.
This is tough. There's tail. See, I know Nile. And big-tailed, I know Nile is trying to find wacky ways to say things.
Me?
What did ChatGPT create here?
I would never.
He would never. He would never do that. Can you give me the first 2 again?
First 2 again? Sure. Big-tailed blonde gets excited at the club and ends up having good sex in the bathroom. And then too many hot young faces for this cumstronaut. Do you want the third?
Cumstronaut
Cumstronaut?
reeks of Nile.
Yeah,
Cumstronaut
Cumstronaut's not
makes me
real.
feel
Come on.
like he has said that multiple times to his partner to try it out. Just not being a cumstronaut. But again, I'm not here to judge.
Hey,
I'm not here
dude.
to yuck your yums.
Yeah,
But
it's
I
a
think-
small load for men, a
One
big spurt for men.
giant load
yeah.
for
yeah.
One giant load for mankind.
Right.
My guess would be cumstronaut, but what are you? I was wrong the last time. So, is there something that's
I
speaking to you?
think Cumstronaut. Oh my god, Cumstronaut, or what was the third one again?
All right. Third one is part 1. Graduating from virginity this time with a pussy of a brush. All the sperm is released into her vagina and face.
Like, I'm sorry, but leave a little mystery for the audience. Like, the whole
Yes,
plot
spoiler
is in the
warning.
title. Come on.
I think the
Spoiler
mystery
warning.
is how do you have a pussy of a brush?
Bro. Okay, that seems kind of also SEO-y, so I'm gonna go with the Cumstronaut as well.
Yeah, we're
Yeah?
gonna cumstronaut.
Cumstronaut is correct.
Yes!
I really hoped big-tailed would get you.
No, see, it almost did. It almost did, but I could see the. You did say that to your partner, didn't you?
Cumstronaut?
Yeah.
Probably.
Did you run that? Yeah. Did you
I
run
run
that by
everything
her?
by them. It's
Oh my
intensely annoying.
God. Did you
All right.
ever actually went one huge load for man, one giant load for man?
Although I did once make a Morbius joke while coming and uncame my semen back into my dick, and that hurt because I was laughing so hard, and then my dick was really sore, and that ruined it for everybody.
Oh
It's
my
terrible.
God.
Once again, Jared Leto has fucked over an
Let's ruin
orgasm.
one more thing. It was not,
Mhm.
in fact, Morbin time. Okay, final round. You ready? You locked in?
Yes,
Yes.
quite literally, I am locked in.
Part 1. Huge tits JD drowns in soupy sex in a 3-way threesome. A series of cum shots so massive that it makes the bed look like it's about to be eaten alive. She can't get enough of it. That's one.
Is that all one? Okay.
That's all one.
That's all
yeah.
one.
Obviously,
Jesus
it's all one. Come on.
Christ.
Number 2. Connect beads. A woman who had too much sex and called the staff directly. A super cute girl who loves chin shabu. A large amount of special thick semen bukkake on your cute face.
God, these are essays.
And part 3. Who would have thought it would end up wet like this? Men and women fuck crazy. Like animal.
How would I sort this into Dewey Decimal System? Damn.
This is a tough one.
Yeah, because I feel like we just got bombarded with so much information, like a
Yeah,
bukkake,
there's
you
a-
know, just
There's a lot to sort.
Yeah, there's like a soupy
yeah.
amount, you know?
Oh
That's
my God.
that's my knee jerk reaction is the looks like it's going to be swallowed alive or whatever the fuck it was.
I can reread it if you'd like.
I wish you wouldn't. I don't ever want to hear that sentence ever again. That's my guess.
My knee-jerk reaction was the first one due to the sheer length of it. Because I
Yeah.
feel like that becomes like a way to kind of throw us off. Because the
Yes.
other two sounded shorter in comparison.
And it's also absurd. There's an absurdity that Niall enjoys.
It's
of
like
the
it's
cum
camp.
eating the bed. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the first one as well. I think.
Yeah, let's go with lock it in with the first one.
So in my head, the semen about to eat the bed is just the Venom ult from Marvel Rivals, but no, it was in fact the third one where they fuck like
No!
animal.
Damn it.
Gotcha.
The grammar error really like animal, you know?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what really
yeah.
threw me off. Seemed real.
What can I say? I'm good at what I do.
Watching porn.
Well, it's funny because it's like it's very business focused. Because when you ask like if they were straight porn or not, I've literally just scrolled. I didn't even look at like what was in the videos. I would just go and be like, one this crazy, and it's like bringing making what you love work, and it's very sad.
Your
There's no
I used
enjoyment
to
of
do-
it.
Engine must be amazing.
Oh, it's insane.
Yeah, our algorithms are absolutely fucked.
Yeah.
I used to read dramatic readings of people reviewing porn DVDs. This was an old bit that we did like towards the beginning of it. And the amount of time I spent going through porn reviews and like reading them to see if there was something funny and worth bringing to the show.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it is a sad world out there. It is.
Wait,
the amount
you
of
mean
time.
the people writing written reviews of porn DVDs aren't living their best lives?
I mean, maybe they are. I don't know. That's maybe I'm the sad one. Either way,
Hey,
like the split is either they're having
heard the reviews. I don't think they're living their best lives.
There should be like a porn version of Letterbox where people can just leave their reviews, and we'll call it like Wetterbox. you know?
Wetterbox.
Yeah,
I like that.
I wish that was a thing.
TM. That'll be our next. When the three of us stop podcasting, it'll be because we made $1 million off Wetterbox.
From Wetterbox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we want to go into another quick question, or do we want to play another game?
Up to the guest.
I mean, I have a few questions here that I feel like you guys could contribute, because these are actually quite like, it feels like an SOS. So there's a sense of urgency here.
For sure.
Okay.
So let's go with this one. Maybe this one's not so urgent, but let's see how it goes. It's an Am I the Asshole? Am I the Asshole? I was texting this guy for 10 minutes while I'm on vacation, so I don't really have anyone to fuck with. He said he would come over to my hotel. He did. He got undressed, and his dick was just a mess. It smells like he didn't shower for the past 2 weeks. I gagged in all caps when I even got close to it. He tried to push my head, but I said, nope, I won't do it. He asked if it was my first time, and I lied and said, yes, obviously I'm gay. I sucked dick before. I wasn't nervous. I was just literally disgusted. So he said, all right, and he went away. Am I the asshole for doing that?
No, not at all.
I
In
think
fact,
you handled that expertly.
yeah, you got out without offending them, which, like, if you're showing up with a dick that messed up, I don't know if you even deserve that, but I'm glad that you did it for everyone's safety and sake. But, like, you did it in such a charming way where it's like, oh no, it's not you, it's me. It's my first time.
I'm just so nervous.
Yeah, as
I'm
opposed
just
to
a
like
little virgin.
throw that dick in the shower, hose it off, and then still leave because that's gross.
Yeah,
There's a
no,
little,
I mean, like,
there's a little PS here. He says, so after the Am I the asshole?
Then
PS,
I ran down the street after him and called him a piece of shit.
right. PS, he blocked me, and now my whole room smells like his dick.
Ooh,
Whole room.
The whole room.
that's. Can I just say that I feel like I've lived a blessed life because I've never, in all of the genitals that I've seen, encountered a smelly one.
No.
Mm.
I've also, like,
Good
I've
for you.
heard the horror stories and I've gotten lucky.
I've encountered ones that have a scent, either because we were out all day dancing and we come back at night and there's the natural musk.
Yeah,
but
but
I've never had
that's-
one that's like foul. I've never had a bad smelling.
Rancid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I count myself very lucky.
Yeah.
I pride
Especially
myself
one
in
that
my
would-
genital care, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
As we
I
all
would be
should.
Horrified. Even like, let's say we were out all night dancing and to come back, if I imagined I had a less than pristine dick, I'd feel very terrible about it.
Yeah.
I'd probably give
that's-
it a little quick sink shower.
Yeah, the pirate shower, the pits and the
Yeah.
pubes.
Exactly, right? But no, how could this have gone better? The only way this could have gone better is if they showed up with a clean dick and you had a great time. But they showed up with a nasty one and you managed to escape gracefully, kindly. Now all you need to do is open up the windows and get some Febreze and you're golden.
I'm sorry, but nobody should be walking around with smelly dick. That is
No.
a crime. You have every right to like punch it, to chop it off. That is abuse of your genitals. Like straight
Then it's
or
stuck
gay.
in your room.
Yeah, it's stuck in your room, right?
That's bad.
But like straight or gay, men should never be walking around with dirty dick. It
No.
is an abomination.
Clean your
So,
dick.
yeah. Like
The only-
this is why
like-
you need to carry baby wipes.
Yeah, it's just like I don't understand how it could even have gotten to that point. It's like it's
Yeah.
one thing if you're like, oh shit, I was at work all day and this came up because like one, go to a washroom and just do something. But two, it should still be like a normal like day's worth of like
I feel like it
residual
speaks
musk
to
maybe. Not like
Yeah.
a full ass rancid fucking.
a whole scent that lingers in the room.
You
I feel
shouldn't
like
be
it
able to
speaks
fill a
to-
room, let alone
Yeah.
linger in a room.
I feel like if it smells that bad, it might speak to something much worse, like an infection.
Maybe
Or-
many things.
There's a medical problem for sure.
Yeah.
If
Mhm.
it's
Or-
lingering, because like
It's on purpose.
that's the thing
Oh
is like
God!
okay, expand.
That's his thing. That's his thing. Maybe it's his thing.
Okay,
what
but
was his
even
grinder
then-
name? Was his Stinky Dick Dave?
No,
Because the
but, like,
signs were there, maybe, and you just missed them.
but like scent play and scent kinks and fetishes are still absolutely a thing. At least he should have communicated that if it was a thing. However,
That's-
it doesn't sound like it because
Yes.
this writer was like gagging. So
Yeah, no, that's horrific. I will say
Yeah.
the only downside, because as I said, I think they handled this perfectly. Good job. The only downside is that they left this encounter maybe not knowing that they have this horrific foul dick that they
oh
need to wash.
no.
So like the only good thing so you need to send them this episode basically so that they can listen and be like, should I shower? People have been talking about these shower things for years and I've never really.
I don't think subtle hints would like if you require a nudge in the direction of cleaning your genitals, then I think like that needs to be something that's being broadcast like straight into your brain in order for some people to
Big
get. 'Cause
sign,
I feel like
neon sign.
yeah, I feel like if it's gotten to the point where I mean like again, I'm going to guess if I again not a doctor, but I would say there's probably a fungal infection happening there. That would be my strong assumption because like that's what happens with like feet, right? Like you could have bad
Like
smelling
athlete's
feet after-
foot.
Yeah, like after a
His
day.
athlete's dick.
Athlete's dick.
The rest of the episode is just gonna be us dry heaving into the mic.
All
Right.
together. 3, 2, 1.
I'm gonna have to put trigger warnings in and be like dry heaving at 32 minutes.
Also,
Time signature.
rancid dicks. As if we
Oh,
didn't need
man.
one already.
No, but you absolutely were not the asshole. So you handled that quite gracefully, more than I ever could, because I would have called him a slur. I would have kicked him out with my spiked boot. I would have done so many awful things.
Yeah,
Oh,
I feel like you
jeez.
were kind. Maybe kinder than the situation needed, but we like to promote kindness.
Glad you do, because I'm all for being a bitch. No. Shall we answer more of my listeners, or would you like to answer
Yes.
some of yours? Mine.
Let's
Yeah,
let's do
let's
one
do
more
it.
question from you, and then we'll switch to a game.
Sure. Okay. This one's kind of sad. But sure, let's go for it. I love my husband so much, but due to some body issues of his that I don't consider an obstacle, he hasn't touched me sexually for the last 15 years. It started to mess with my self-esteem, and I'm beginning to think he will never touch me again. Sex has become academic now, something I observe and discuss but never experience. How do I get my husband to touch me again? Aww, that's so sad.
That is really sad. That
That's
last line
rough.
actually broke my heart.
Yeah.
And the entire time I was fighting when they said a body issue to not make a rancid dick joke. So it was really like two wolves were inside me. One wanted to be like, oh, and one wanted to be like, rancid dick, is that it?
It's because your dick smells.
Yeah, is it the smelly dick?
Dick.
I just got to applaud their fortitude because it's been 15 years and
Yeah.
they're one, still living because that I think would implode me. And two, they're like, it's starting to erode my confidence. I'm like, after 15 fucking years, I wouldn't have
Mhm.
confidence.
I wish we knew what the body issue was
Yeah.
for him, right? Like, is it could be any number of things. Like, does he have a micro penis and he feels inadequate when it comes to sex, and that's why
Is
he's
it like
avoiding it?
ED?
Did he put on weight? You know,
Yeah.
like, is it,
It's
what?
like because my audience is gay, it's definitely has something to do with like weight problems.
Okay.
Safe to assume.
It's that, like, I understand that from both sides, right? Like, I have recently put on, I'm like the heaviest I've ever been in my life, and
But I love
it's
a bear, Dane. Oh.
but like my partner is very good at like reassuring me and telling me that she finds me attractive, and which is great, but there's still like there's nothing you can do about your own insecurities, right? Like it doesn't matter what people say to you, it helps, of course, but like there are still times I look in the mirror and I realize like, oh, I've put on a considerable amount of weight compared to like what I feel is comfortable for me, and you feel weird in your skin, and that obviously is going to play a part in like how you feel sexually and how you feel, in terms of like your libido and stuff. So like I get it from his point of view. However, there is like, you are in a relationship and you are in a partnership, and you do need to make sure that your partner is satisfied one way or another, right? Like it might be, if it's a weight thing and your partner isn't happy, then maybe you take a little bit of onus and figure out a way to be comfortable with your body. And I want to be very clear that I'm not saying go lose weight, because I don't think that's necessarily like, you're allowed to be in the body that you have,
For sure.
and your partner doesn't get to tell you how it should look. But if you're aware that this is having a direct impact on your relationship, there is a responsibility on your behalf to figure that out for them.
Whether it's going to therapy, losing weight, like changing your mind, like you need to put the work in. If you've recognized that this is an issue for your relationship, you don't just go, okay. Because if you do, like, why would anyone want to be in a relationship where you're just like apathetic? You know what I mean? Like when you recognize a problem, you need to work to solve it. That doesn't mean you solve it in X way or Y way, but you do need to go forward. I would love to know what communication they've had, because it's been so fucking long. And it's like, I can't imagine a conversation where you're like, hey, I want to fuck. And they're like, oh, I have this issue. And you're like, well, I don't care about that. And they're just like, eh. And then you just move on with your life. You know?
It sounds like they're not communicating well, because it's been 15 years, and why is this only starting to become an issue now? So maybe start with how you guys are communicating and like vocalizing your needs. And I hate to say it, but if he's not meeting your needs after this long, time to like nip it in the bud,
For sure.
There's just
nothing wrong
with breaking up or anything.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you should, but there has to be a breaking point in your relationship where you're like, my needs aren't being met. We're no longer compatible. We just can't complement each other, and there's no space in our lives because I want to be loved and admired, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if your husband's not doing that to you, and you really want him to show you love and compassion and kindness and sex, and you want to get dick down and he's not giving that to you, then I'm sorry. Then be a big boy, put on your big boy panties and skedaddle.
For sure. Like, I think you need to sit down and have, like, not communication, like full ass, like sit them down, be like, this is my issue. This is how long it's been going on for. This needs to change. And then hopefully they'll be willing to talk. And you need to be like, how are we changing this? What are we going to implement going forward? And like, don't fucking half ass it. You know what I mean? Give it your full ass. And then hopefully you'll be getting it in your full ass afterwards. You know, I hate when people say they've like had communication and it's really just like they mention it and they're like, okay, I brought it up. We didn't go anywhere. We didn't establish anything. We didn't fix shit, but I said it, so that counts, right? And it's like, no, it doesn't fucking count. So like lay it down and tell them, because you should be leaving a relationship that isn't meeting your needs. You know what I mean? I think you should definitely try to have it meet your needs. But if you try and they're unwilling to do that, what do you want to do? Continue to have your self-worth be eaten away? You want to start breeding resentment for this relationship? Because let me tell you, that's going to be worse than breaking up.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
So
yeah, and if you haven't had that conversation, like that brutal, blunt, like, here's the situation, here's my needs, yada yada, there's a very good chance that this person started feeling bad about their body for whatever reason it is, and then they didn't initiate sex for X amount of time, and then all of a sudden they realized that you weren't saying anything, you didn't seem unhappy, you didn't initiate sex, so now all of a sudden it could be on the reverse side, they're thinking like, my partner hasn't touched me in 15 years because I've put on this weight. Yeah. Right? Because if you don't have those conversations, all you have is what you're able to construct in your brain. Exactly. Right? And without then having another conversation to dissuade or to disperse those thoughts, then it manifests, right? It's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy where
that's just a fucking downward spiral from there.
And then so like you're like, oh, they don't want to have sex with me because I'm this, I'm gross, I'm whatever. And then she or he's on the other side thinking like, oh, they don't want to have sex with me anymore, and now I'm also feeling unloved. And it's like, cool, you have made little islands of the same problem, and all you really need, like, it's just a short little bridge of a conversation and you fix it. But because you've refused to have this conversation, you're just kind of like silently dealing with these problems that could be the same thing.
And I will just say on a last note that just because the conversation is brutal or like blunt doesn't mean it should be unkind. So it's like, don't try not to start it as a fight or as accusations or like aggressively, you know what I mean? By all means, be like, don't
assertive,
fuck around.
Not aggressive.
Be assertive. Yes, that's exactly it. But like, you don't have to be mean or inflammatory, because then you're going to have a fight about the fight instead of talking shit through. So like, be straightforward, be assertive. Don't like not say things that are on your mind, but don't come in swinging.
Put the ass in assertive.
Exactly.
And then make sure half of everything he owns is under your name.
Do that first.
Yeah, 15 years later, get a prenup.
That's just a post-nup.
Post-nup. That post-nup clarity.
Oh,
love that.
Tim, you brought a game for us.
I did.
Would you like to play that?
Sure. So,
because I would like to.
I can't wait.
This game came to me in a weed dream where I had HGTV on my TV, and then I had gay porn playing on my phone. Why did the two play simultaneously? You're going to have to ask that version of Tim. It was in this sort of like weed high kind of like realization that I was like, why are these titles kind of similar? What the hell is going on? So from that delusion, I have birthed this game and I've brought to Fuck Buddies, which I will call Home or Homo. I will read you some titles, and you are going to guess whether it is Home, an HGTV program, or Homo, a gay porn.
So good.
It's a lot more difficult than you would think. So let's start off maybe a little easy. Let's see. The first title here is $50,000 three ways.
$50,000 three ways. There's like, I can't imagine what would a three-way be in HGTV context.
The only thing, here's what I'm thinking. It's not three-way as in like,
it's like
it's
split
three
three
ways.
ways.
So three designers get $50,000 to change the room, and they're competing to like do the best redesign.
I think it's too obviously porny that I'm going to go HGTV.
I am also also going to go home.
It is nice. Interior designer Tiffany Brooks helps renovation-ready homeowners decide how to best spend their hard-earned $50,000.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, nice. All right, so that is a point for. Are you making it a competition or a collaborative?
I think collaborative at this point. We
Yeah.
did discuss that.
Collaborative. All right, next one. Blueprint.
Huh.
Plain and simple. Blueprint.
Homo.
Yeah, it's got to be Homo.
It's got to be Homo. What makes you say that?
Yeah.
It's got to be.
Because I'm going off like the first one was so obviously porn that it couldn't have been, and this one sounds so clearly HGTV that it can't be.
A cocky construction company owner, an architect with an ass that just won't quit. Yeah, it is porno.
It's Bob Vila.
I love that. Like halfway through that title, I still couldn't tell.
Yeah, it's. I mean, look at it this way. It is very like. Come on, that is.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, beefcakes all around. So, all right, next one I have here. This one might be a bit of a challenge for you guys. Bigger is better.
Ooh.
Gotta go. It sounds more porny, so I think it's got to be HGTV. I guess 2 on the nose.
Yeah, but look at Tim's a crafty one.
I know.
feel like he would have figured out our pattern
game.
recognition
He looked
and
at the
pull it out from
blueprint of our.
of our psychological profiles.
Mhm.
Bigger is better. Fuck, that could go either way. Damn this game.
I'm going HGTV. Home.
Are you both agreeing on
I think it's
home?
Homo, but I'll stand in solidarity.
You can go. You can go Homo.
Stand in solidarity with home?
Yeah.
Expert flippers Colin and Anna Branca give their buyers the best of both worlds by buying charming small homes and increasing their size. It is home.
Ayo. Yes, we did it.
All right. Ready for the next one? Because this one is called Bigger Than Huge.
Now, are you
that's
saying
porn.
huge or hue?
Huge, Huge. Bigger than
That
huge.
changes things.
Yeah, I think this is porn.
I think it is home.
Okay.
Ooh, we got a stalemate here.
I don't think Tim's
gotta come
going to
to a
go
conclusion.
home, homo, home, home.
Oh, that's true. Or unless it's such a predictable pattern that he would.
He's double
I
bluffing
like how I'm
us.
not even playing the game. I'm just trying to guess how Tim
Analyze,
thinks
yeah.
that we
Vibes.
think.
I've been watching
Yeah.
a lot of Suits lately. I've been rewatching Suits, and they always say, "Mike, don't play the case, play the man." I'm trying to play the man right now. I'm looking at you, Tim. I'm analyzing every part of your corset. It's not a corset, it's a harness.
My harness.
See, you didn't know what it was called either.
It was, I immediately corrected myself. Sorry, your leather strap t-shirt or whatever
Yeah.
Dane said earlier. I'm saying home.
I'm gonna stick with Homo.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, this
Splitting.
point goes to Dane.
Shit.
Well, huge cock fans, this is your lucky day because here's a tape packed with monstrous man meat that's not just big, it's not just huge, it's bigger than huge.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, they got me.
Yeah. So, are you seeing the pattern, or is there even a pattern? Ooh.
That's what's fucking me up.
Mhm.
I can't judge them on their own merits. What would it even be about, bigger than huge? I'm an idiot.
Okay, this next one has thrown a lot of people like a curveball because it's actually very difficult. When I saw this, I was like, even in my weed high, I was like, is this a porn or is this HGTV? The title is Gut Job.
Good job.
Gut Job.
Ah. Hmm.
Does HGTV have like health things? Or
Well,
is
no,
it-
when you gut a house, it's like when you pull all the shit
true.
out.
I was thinking more like, apple cider vinegar shots. And now you've got,
No, it's like when you fix the gutters and everything. That's a
it's
gut
got to
job.
be home.
But I will also tell you that a gut job is something that is seen in gay porn.
I'm not surprised.
Doesn't take
Yeah.
a genius to think that.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
think we figured that out.
Yeah.
It's got to be home.
You know
Think
what?
of it this
I'm-
way. Would you call your porn blowjob? No. You wouldn't call your porn hand job?
You would be surprised, Niall, about
It's
all
fair.
the
I
gay
guess
porn
there is.
titles that are just straight up, 3 dicks, 1 hole.
But even that's not just called ass sex, I think it's too reductive.
I promise you, there is like
I know
there's
there's
like
an
27
ass sex. I
ass
know.
sexes. Ass sex 2, ass sex 3. I'm gonna go Homo again on this one. I'm
going home.
diverting. I think this is Homo.
This point goes to Niall. Real estate agent and designer duo Kate and Darren Manusco take on impossible projects no other flippers would touch in Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, also, when you look at a lot of HGTV programming, there's a certain level of homoeroticism to it. For example, the Property Brothers. I'm just saying.
Homo.
Going back to gay incest,
Yeah.
Yeah.
those two are definitely fucking.
Yes.
It's
they're
all, that was just
definitely-
foreshadowing.
Yeah.
The first
exactly.
question was, yeah.
Speaking of incest, here's the next title. Cousins Undercover. Niall just went into his chair and just
Yeah,
like,
now it's going to his mind palace. I think this is Homo.
Cousins Undercover, Homo.
I think it's home.
So this is turned away from collaborative to a competition
now
now.
It's turned
It's
into I
competitive,
say
yeah.
home every time and Dane says homo every time.
Cousins Undercover. Every neighborhood has one. The local hero who makes life a little easier for everyone around him or her. Now is America's chance to celebrate neighborhood heroes in a big way. It's home. Aww.
What is the cousin? Is the guy's name Cousins?
No, it's like, so Cousins Undercover is like actual like cousins who are helping to renovate people's homes. And but, like, I don't know what else to tell you.
They have
Yeah,
to
the
be
hosts
a
are
cousin?
cousins.
Oh,
The hosts are
okay.
just cousins.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's
I
it.
don't care what you're telling me right now. That is gay porn at the top.
That's what I'm
That
saying.
picture right-
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Cousins
It is,
Deconstructed? That's the sequel.
it is gay porn.
Yeah.
Cousins Undercover. Okay, this next one might actually throw you off a little bit. Boise Boys.
Boise Boys. Can you spell Boise for me?
It's
BOISE, like Idaho.
I
yeah.
Or
can go
I don't know.
homo.
I'm going home on this one as well.
I said homo.
Oh, I'm going home. We're flopping. We're flip flopping.
Polar opposite friends Luke and Clint take an unconventional approach to house flipping in their hometown of Boise, Idaho.
Yeah, I can't think of a single gay person who would want to be jerking off to anyone from Idaho.
From Boise.
No, but the thing, it's like, what could be more straight, right? And they love, like, you know, straight baiting and stuff.
That was your. It's just straight baiting Idaho boys.
Yeah, they're
I-
gonna be like
I love that
they
gesture
love
for
to be like,
straight
oh,
baiting.
you know,
Just
yeah.
scratching some balls in the air. Like, come.
Do we want to switch over and do one last question before we get out of here?
Sure. And
Yeah.
then man quotes instead of bad sex writing.
I'll do one. I'll hit you with one, and then
Cool.
I'll,
All right.
I'll save the other ones for the live show.
Sounds perfect.
Ooh,
You have
About the
one
VIP
last question for us,
ticket.
Tim?
I do. And I
Fuck
bought the
yeah.
VIP ticket to your live show, so I can't wait to see my daddies.
We get to drink together again.
Yes,
It's technically already happened when people hear this, so we'll talk
True.
about what a great time we have.
okay, this one. Kind of sad, a little hopeful, and I think it's a great final question. I'm in my 40s and have never had a relationship last more than 6 months. I've been in bed recovering from a severe cold, and it's made me have negative thoughts about my body. I haven't had sex in 2 years. My body isn't what it used to be, and I'm starting to think I'll never find love. No guy wants an old, inexperienced, wrinkly man. How do I get out of this funk?
It's literally never too late to do, you know, you can always turn things around. And like, we've seen it time and time again. The most attractive thing about someone is them, like the things that make you, your personality, your confidence. And it's like, body can help for sure. But like, we've all met people who are super hot. And then 10 minutes later, you're like, okay, they suck. You know what I mean? And vice versa. So like, even if you're going to write off your body, which I don't think we have to, you're 40. It's not that old, right?
No, that's young.
Yeah, right. Like Dane's basically mid 40 at this point.
So I'm just gonna loop. I've clipped Tim
I'm
saying
sorry.
that's young, and I'm just going to. That's what I'm going to be listening to when I go to bed tonight. I'm just going to.
No, it is. And also, like, the way Niall said Dane, that was so drag queen read of you. Like, Dane's, it was like, wow. The
I gotta throw
shade.
him under the bus.
Literally.
rapid co-host here.
as
Wow.
the baby in the pod, you know? But like it's not old. Like, and the thing is, I feel like a while ago 30s was old, and now like all the coolest people are fucking 30. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure very soon all the coolest people will be 40. You're fine. There's never too late to, you know, rejuvenate yourself, change your lifestyle, shake shit up. And like there's people out there who are also, I'm sure, inexperienced at that age or also down on, you know, there's literally you're not the only one, right? So there's nothing to say you couldn't meet someone in a similar position who's also awesome, or stop like thinking so negatively about yourself and just meet someone who's rad. Like,
yeah,
you know, I understand where you're coming from, but like we're always our worst enemies, and it's like very easy to fall down in this little like depression, especially when you're in bed recovering from a cold. You know what I mean?
Unless you're Batman, in which case Joker is your worst enemy.
Yes.
So I just
but he's the only one. Everyone else.
Here's the thing. I recently disclosed to my boss, who's not that much older than me, that I was 32. And she said, oh my God, you're a baby. So if 32 is a baby, 40 is basically still a
teenager.
Kid. A teenager, right?
Yeah, and guess what? Teens, we had so much fun when we were teenagers.
Yeah. And also, I will have you know, since you're anonymous, I'll give you Agent Rock Salt. That's just on my desk right now. Yes, there's rock salt on my desk. Don't ask.
Interesting. We'll delve into that later.
We'll figure that out why. But 40s in gay years is prime daddy age, okay? The hottest men are in their 40s, in my personal opinion. Pedro Pascal, Oscar Isaac. I don't know about Antonio Banderas, but sure, let's put him in there. Javier Bardem.
He's got to be pushing 50, if not 60 at this point.
Sure, but still really hot.
This is what we're saying, yeah.
Also, that's the thing. You're focusing on like the wrinkles, which like I doubt, one, and two, who cares? Because guess what? Where's the grays at? Are you in your Silver Fox era? Because guess what? That's hot as shit, right?
Oh my God. Please. Oh, I'm getting hard and I'm in my cage right now.
He's in a cage and now you're making them hard. That's how potentially sexy you are.
You can't really see it in my beard on camera, but
you can.
Dan's got a little like rogue from X-Men, like gray streak.
No, it's like all through now. It's like my beard has gotten quite gray, and I think I've mentioned it before on the show. It's like dudes almost are always like you gotta dye it, and then literally like there's a chorus of women who pop out of nowhere who are like, "Don't you fucking dare!" I was like,
"No,
yeah, like I'm not gonna touch this. This is the best thing that's ever happened to me." As someone who started to lose my hair at fucking like 19. This gray is my resurgence. This is like a phoenix emerging from the ashes.
Listen, I love him bald. I love him hairy. I love him aged and decrepit. Back when I was a sex worker, I was an escort. I was 20. He was 80. We still had a great time. So you can be sexy at any age. Don't ever let, I don't know, beauty standards tell you otherwise, because if you don't find anyone, hey, you know what? Hit me up. Slide in my DMs. I'll fuck.
There you go.
Not even a pity fuck. If you got that salt and pepper Mr. Fantastic thing going. Ow, my cage.
His cage.
The cage.
Can't
please.
be sending questions that are going to be doing this to him.
Yeah. Oh, it hurts.
One final point on this is you mentioned that you've like only have relationships of 6 months. Perhaps while you're feeling sorry for yourself, which you know what I think is an essential part of growth. Also think about the types of people that you're getting in relationships with.
Correct.
Is there a pattern, right?
Yeah.
Is there
why are they falling apart at 6 months?
That it's the same thing happening over and over again, because that's a very common thing that a lot of us do. We're attracted to the same type of people. It goes the same kind of way. It ends the same way, and then we say, "Oh, we're like I'm doomed. I'm cursed." It's like no, you have to just do a little self-reflection, be a little self-aware, and when you find that person where you're like, oh, that's my type, and I'm going down that same path. Be like, I'm not going to do this again, and maybe expand your horizons, branch out, date people that maybe you wouldn't immediately think of as partners that you're attracted to. Whether it's a physical thing, like if you're only dating a certain physical type, if you're only dating, people who do a certain thing, like if you're only dating like 6'2" club promoters, I'm sorry,
you're fine because they're angels. But like if you're going to date like
absolute
a 5'8" librarian, heartbreakers.
So like, evaluate your choices because there may be some patterns you need to undo in order to break this cycle. And it has nothing to do with you.
Yeah. Also how you act though. Like it might have something to do with you. You know what I mean? The common denominator in these relationships is you. So if you find after like 5-6 months you get really controlling or like you're cheating or
jealous.
Maybe you need to reevaluate how you act. Like I don't think there's anything wrong with like checking in with yourself and making sure you're where you want to be. You know what I mean? Because we're not infallible.
Because at a certain point, it's your fault, dude.
Unless you're Batman, in which case you are infallible.
He's an incredibly flawed man. What do you mean?
Dang. Throwback to the joke, and you made it weird.
There's nothing funny about Batman. I don't remember what I was going to say. I think that like at any point in time, if you find yourself in a pattern in a cycle, it's almost always a good idea to like check in with a mental health professional, talk to a therapist, because they see the bigger picture. You see the tragedy, right? Like the heartbreak,
Blinders
and
are
the
on.
sadness.
Yeah.
Are the blinders that don't let you sort of see everything around you, whereas someone with a third party and a medical degree can look and be like, yeah, do you not see that you're doing X and Y and Z? Because a lot of people might be like, oh yeah, no, I didn't see that. Now that you,
for sure,
like, it might be something as simple as just someone saying it out loud to you and you hearing it. So, and when you're paying like $200 an hour, hopefully you'll listen.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, hey, there are escorts that are worth $200 an hour. So
there you go.
If you don't want to go to therapy and you want to have a little fun for the hour.
That's going to do it for this episode, friends. Tim, thank you very much for hanging out with us.
Yeah.
It's
been so much fun.
It's a pleasure.
I was just getting to the climax of it too, guys.
We still got one more game for you, so we got to edge you a little bit longer before you can bust in that cage.
Before we do that, would you like to tell our listeners about your show, where they can find you, what you're all about, anything you have coming up?
First of all, thank you so much to Dane and Niall for having me on the show. I love you guys. You are my daddies. You are amazing. To all of you listening, especially to the Philippines, mahal ko kayo lahat. Sana makinig kayo sa show ko. I hope you all listen to my show. It's Sex Ed with Tim. I release all the episodes every other Thursday on wherever you get your podcast. And anything I have coming up, if you happen to be in Toronto on Friday, March 7th, and you want to see me get naked for you, I will be performing at, what is the venue called? The Fox's Den or House of Lancaster by Lansdowne Station. I'm going to be in my high heels and getting sexy pole dancing. If you didn't know, I'm a pole dance instructor, so I could like show my hole for you all, but you'd have to tip me. So.
And you should.
Yes.
If you go and you're not tipping, we're going to have words.
Yes. And for more information, follow my Instagram at SexEdWithTim or my website, sexedwithtim.com.
Oh, yeah. Thanks again for coming on. We love you.
Thanks again for having me on. I'd love to come on anything else.
Thank you very much for listening. Thanks for spending the hour of your time with us. We always appreciate it. If you have a question, much like Tim's audience, feel free to send it over our way. We answer them usually when we get them. You can hit us up at fbuddiespodcast@gmail.com or head on over to fbuddiespodcast.com, click the contact form. It gives you a chance to enter your own agent name. Everything is anonymous, and we will answer your question as soon as we can.
Yeah. And thank you, Josh Eagle and the Harvest Cities, for their song Paper Stars. Now, Dane, you're going to lull us to sleep with your beautiful question?
Niall reads some bad sex writing at the end, but I'm going to be taking over because we didn't get a chance to do this. So the game is very simple. I'm sure you have seen these floating around the internet, or perhaps this is just a straight white dude thing. I don't know. But there are pictures, usually of a stern-looking celebrity, usually black and white, with a quote that has nothing to do with that celebrity.
They usually both are like hyper masculine, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So, for example, something like, the biggest mistake you could ever make is making me mad, or something stupid like that, and then it's a picture of The Rock. He's never said that. Doesn't mean anything.
You don't know that.
I mean, maybe. So I have the game is I'm going to read the quote. You have to, by some means, figure out which celebrity is in this picture.
That's insane. Okay.
If you get it correct, I post it on my Instagram with no context. It just goes on my grid, and people think I'm not doing well.
Everyone who knows.
Do we get any hints?
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. This is a pretty big hit if I have to post this. So I'm not in the habit of allowing hints, but I'm going to I'm going to do this one.
These are big name celebrities. So these are
These
big
are
name
big name
celebrities
celebrities. These
with like a caption over their black and white portrait that has nothing to do with anything.
correct.
Yeah. It'll just be
Oh.
some like hyper masculine bullshit, but like it'll also be like a typically manly actor usually.
My
Yeah.
God. Okay, so
It's the most insecure straight male shit you've ever seen.
okay. Oh, jeez, this is hard.
All right, here's the quote. If you don't follow the crowd, you'll find yourself in places where nobody ever been.
Nobody ever been?
Nobody ever been. Not nobody has ever been. It's just nobody ever been.
I said what I said.
So wait, are they saying this in a good way or a bad way?
There's no way of knowing. I'll read it again so you can really sort of like, I want you to close your eyes and just picture who would be in this quote. If you don't follow the crowd, you will find yourself in places where nobody ever been.
Okay. I think it's going to be obviously super manly dude or whatever, but it's going to be like an oddball, right? Where he's like quirky or he's like, do we think, who's your man from Dune where they did the lookalike contest?
Timothy Chalamet.
Do we think he's too not typically manly for these people? Because I think he's got the quirk.
I will let each of you get your own guess. You don't have to collaboratively guess. You guys both get to give me a
way to just
Timothy
yank the
Chalamet is
teamwork.
very like he's a twink. Like
that's the thing. A lot of these are like Jason Statham.
Okay, so
But I think there's gonna be a weirdness. Maybe Tom Hiddleston.
maybe or Benedict Cumberbatch. I'm also thinking, because I'm thinking on the oddball boy next door kind of side, we'd have Adam Scott from Severance or Jesse Eisenberg from Now You See Me. It'd be funny if it was like Michael Cera. I
think we're straying too far from like macho because I think these are usually
from macho.
Like,
So bring it back to macho.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so
like
if we
the
bring it back
people
to
who unironically call themselves alphas.
who unironically, so they would look like they unironic, so like a Jason Statham or Jason
I think so.
Momoa.
I hope I'm not leading you down the wrong path, but that's typically where they're at.
Or like a Henry Cavill type. Let me see.
Machine
macho.
gun.
I will say you have the right, Tim, you have the right like flavor in terms of like the game. I'm not saying in terms of this picture. What I'm saying is like
The aesthetic.
Jason Statham, Jason Momoa, Henry Cavill, I think have all been on pictures that I've previously brought to this game.
So like The Rock. Okay. So big alpha macho men. Wow, this is hard. Can I hear that quote one more time?
Oh, absolutely. If you don't follow the crowd, you will find your places where nobody ever been.
If you don't follow the crowd, you will find yourself in places where nobody ever been.
Would it help? I'm going to help. I'm going to give you a little hint. This doesn't help at all. It is. I will describe the picture to you. They're wearing a suit.
Okay, of course.
They're in the rain with an umbrella, and they're walking one direction while what looks like a bunch of people are walking in the other direction.
I'm back on Timothy Chalamet. No.
God.
I'm going to give you one other hint, and this is all I'm going to do because this cannot go on my feed. You are in the correct
genre of man.
Cinematic universe of your first couple guesses.
First couple of guesses was
you both said two
from
names.
Me? Oh,
we said Timothy Chalamet, and we said
I said Timothy Chalamet, and then Tom Hiddleston. I also said Jesse Eisenberg.
Hemsworth, maybe
Hemsworth. Ooh,
because he's in Tom Hiddleston's, and he's a beefy boy.
Well, no, because
or it could be Jason Momoa if we're talking Timothy Chalamet.
But Dane said like first couple of guesses, so like within the universe of Timothy Chalamet.
No. So skip Timothy Chalamet.
Oh, I see.
You both said two names back to back that are part of a cinematic universe. This actor
MCU.
is also a part of the cinematic universe.
So definitely MCU.
I assume it's got to be MCU.
Yeah. Oh shit. Oh, this is gonna hurt me if I don't get it. Because now I'm looking through my spank bank.
Do you think Chris Evans?
Oh, okay. Chris Evans might be.
If we're thinking like kind of quirky boy in the Timothy Chalamet realm, who's your man from Spider-Man?
Tom Holland?
Tom Holland? I feel like Tom Holland's getting up there, and he did do the umbrella dance.
Yes, he did in the lip sync battle.
Yeah.
Okay, Tom Holland.
I'm gonna need a guess from you guys.
Okay.
You guys get one name each.
One name
I'm gonna
each?
guess Tom Holland.
I'm gonna go with Tom Holland as well. That's the thing.
No, you got to pick a different one because we're still on the same team.
Oh fuck. Okay. Shit. Fuck.
Just then we get two chances of beating Dane.
Okay, so you say
Which
Tom
is more
Holland.
important.
And then I guess I'll say Sure, Chris Hemsworth.
It was, and I bamboozled you a little bit in this one. It is Bradley Cooper.
What?
You know what's so annoying? I almost said Bradley Cooper.
It is
what?
Bradley Cooper. He was
What's
Rocket
in-
Raccoon
Oh, fuck off.
Oh,
from Guardians of the Galaxy.
I
He's not a raccoon.
hate
Get the fuck
it.
out of here.
Let's
I hate
go.
it. I hate that so much.
We're going to beat you up
it.
at the live show, Dane.
I swear to God.
Hey, I've got 3 more that I'll do at the live show. This is the incredible photo of him.
What is
Beautiful.
that? A Bradley Cooper.
Beautiful.
Like,
Yeah,
which movie
Bradley
was that
Cooper.
from?
Who knows? Thank you very much for listening. My name is Dane Miller.
And I'm now Spain.
And I am Tim Lagman.
And
We've
we
been
have
your
been...
fuck buddies.
I don't know why I cut you
Ew.
off on that one, Dane.